BBC News, hello, I'm Eileen McHugh. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered the mobilisation of border police and army reserves following a car ramming attack in Tel Aviv. One person was killed and 7 injured before the assailant was shot dead. From Jerusalem, Yolande Knell has the details.
One foreign tourist, we've been told by the Italian Foreign Ministry that he was an Italian national. He's been killed, 7 wounded in a suspected car ramming attack. Those injured, we're told, are all being treated in hospital in Tel Aviv. They range in age from their teens to their 70s. Now, this is a really quite unusual attack in that it involves tourists in such a number, although we have seen in recent weeks other attacks by Palestinians that have been carried out in the city.
Russian state media say the Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, who was detained 10 days ago, has been charged with spying for the United States. The reports say he categorically denied the accusations. No details of the charges have been made public and no evidence has been presented. The Wall Street Journal has demanded Mr. Gershkovich's immediate release, describing him as a trusted and dedicated reporter. Sergei Gorashko from BBC Russian.
There were some hopes before this day that the FSB, Russian Security Service, would drop the charges or would reclassify them at anything, would just send Evan out of the country after all this media outcry and pressure on the Russian authorities to release the journalist. But for now, as we see, they are going full scale, so they are going to bring him on trial maybe, which is also going to take a lot of time. So it seems like Evan could spend up to 17 months in Russian Lefortovo pre-detention center.
The Polish agriculture minister says Ukraine has offered to suspend its grain exports to Poland after its cheaper grain caused anger among farmers there. But Minister Robert Telus said the transit of Ukrainian grain through Poland to other markets will not be affected.
The
Ukrainian side proposed that for some time it would strongly limit and for the moment even completely stop the arrival of its grain to Poland. And we're not talking about transit here. At the moment, only transit through Poland will be allowed. It will be very strongly monitored by both the Polish and Ukrainian sides so that this grain does not remain in Poland.
The New York Times says a new batch of classified documents has surfaced on social media appearing to detail American national security secrets from Ukraine to the Middle East and China. The paper says more than 100 documents may have been obtained, including one not meant to be shared with any foreign government. You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC. North Korea says it has successfully tested an underwater nuclear attack drone this week. It said the weapon, called Hail-2, travelled underwater for 71 hours before detonating its trial warhead. Pyongyang has ramped up its military activities in recent weeks in a show of force against the United States and South Korea conducting joint military drills. A Supreme Court judge in the United States has said he believed free luxury trips he took with a billionaire Republican donor did not break disclosure guidelines. The non-profit news organisation ProPublica reported this week that Justice Clarence Thomas had accepted holidays from a real estate mogul nearly every year for 2 decades. The FBI in the United States has apologised after agents on exercise at a hotel in Boston detained an innocent man. The operation had been intended to improve skills in unfamiliar environments. Here's Gary O'Donoghue.
Picture this. You've had a long day and you decide to get an early night in your hotel room. You're asleep on the 15th floor and all of a sudden, boom! There's a bunch of people calling themselves FBI agents at your door, forcing their way in and, wait a minute, they're taking you into the bathroom and handcuffing you in the shower. They then proceed to interrogate you for around 45 minutes before you persuade them that you're just a regular Delta Airlines pilot and not the kingpin of an international terrorist organisation. Such was the scene on Tuesday night in Boston, when the hapless FBI agents got the wrong room during their training exercise. The FBI says it takes the incident very seriously and is conducting an investigation.
Pakistan's National Security Council says it'll launch an operation to combat militant groups in the country. The announcement came after a 2-hour meeting of the committee led by the Prime Minister and Pakistan's Army Chief. BBC News.